You know, like, if you take a serious look at America, right now, today, right now, what is it, November the 4th, 2024. If you look at it, the crisis that it's in, the crisis that it's in terms of its debt, in terms of its wealth being taken, hundreds of trillions of dollars just being stolen, taken. Well, let me ask you something. America started out as a colony, just like how Africa was colonized, just like how Australia was colonized. It was a colony of the British Empire. That's what America was, meaning that it was to work the people of that land, and the wealth was to go back to the British Commonwealth, to the king. So if you don't work the last 50 years, the American public, and you're now in debt and all the wealth is going, what does that tell you? Let me do it again. America started out as a colony of convicts, indentured servants, and prisoners that were imported here, immigrants from Britain, to work in the colonies. America started out as a colony, just like all the other colonies. It was a colony of the British Empire. And the indentured servants, and then the slaves that were brought here also, and the slaves that were already here, who were brought into slavery, the people that were already here who were brought into slavery, they worked the agriculture society of those colonies and produced wealth for King George, for the British Empire. The wealth had nothing to do with their well-being, had nothing to do with them buying $300,000, $200,000 homes, had nothing to do with their students going, their student loans, and their kids going to college, had nothing to do with their being homeless. That wealth in those 13 colonies had nothing to do with they're wanting some kind of socialism or socialistic issues in the Americas. The wealth of the colonies, when the colony of America, when it started, was for the king. And I say to you right now that America, if you look at its current situation, what is it? Look at it. What is it? If it's not a colony, then what else is it? What else? If the wealth has been taken from the 300 or so million people here in America, if we've worked and been taxed and taxed and taxed, and that's why even when they declared their independence, from the colony declared its independence, it was saying it's work without taxation, without representation. That's what their whole problem was. They were fighting for the duties on the ships. They were saying they're making all these profits and we're not getting anything here. Well, what are we arguing about now? The same thing. Nothing has changed. And the more it did change, the more it remains the same. And that's what this is. It's no more than a colony. Look at Haiti. Haiti was just received its independence as a colony, and it is no more than that right now. The way the sanctions and tariffs have been placed on it, America's no more than Haiti. It's a country that's worked its ass off. It's in tremendous debt that it can't pay back. Haiti is the same way. Been isolated, an isolated country that's been terrorized by, victimized by colonialism and left in shambles. What's the difference in America? You know, worked our ass off just like those people, and we are in debt, and all the wealth has been taken. No more than a colony, no more than a plantation. Nothing no different. It's nothing no different. The only difference right now in the early stages of colonization here in America and now is that there were certain privileges given. When the whites in indentured servitude slavery, before chattel slavery, they kept rebelling, and they knew that they would have to get different immigrants, just like immigration now. There were no workers, so they're bringing immigrants to up the population and up the workforce. The same thing happened in the colonies. The only reason they went and got they started getting the native blacks that were here and mixing them with the small amount of Africans that they brought here to create chattel slavery, is because the whites kept rebelling, and so they gave them white privilege. And then they also created a term to trick the whites in Britain that said any person that meets the phenotype of a Caucasian, they started calling them white people. The term white people in the transition from indentured servitude to chattel slavery, it was a privilege given to those with the phenotype of Europeans, and they started calling them white people. White people came at that time around 1800. It did not exist. That term did not exist before then. It didn't exist. Right around 1700, it did not exist before the late 1700s. They gave them that term as a white privilege to stop them from rebelling. And it came at that time, they started giving privileges, which started a class of people in the colonies, because at that time when they started giving them white privileges, a land and some mules, so they wouldn't rebel against the feudal lords, so they wouldn't rebel against those who had gained independence from Britain. So they had to give them that. And they started all those that came from Europe as immigrants here then they started calling it the American dream and the land of the freedom home and the break. When they started all that, they started white privilege. They started white America. That's what happened. They started the term white people. And now, right now today, it means no more than what it meant back then. It's no more than a colony. This is no more than a work camp, a plantation. And that's why it's in the crisis it's in. And it's not that it's not wealthy. It's not that it's in any debt. It's just that the wealth has been taken from it and utilized for the masters of the plantation, for the masters of America. And that's what this is about. Thanks for listening once again. Because this is simply, in simple terms, it is capitalism with its foot on socialism. It is capitalism with its foot on the throat of communism. And so America cries out for socialism and don't understand that this has never been socialism. It has only been capitalism. That's all America is. It's never been socialism. And that's why it doesn't feed to socialism. None of the issues of socialism does it lend favor to, or does it have any interest in, because it is capitalism for the rich. That's what it was built for. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.